going to be smoking some pork today, and the first thing I like to do is to heat up the smoker. What I'm doing right now is pouring some water into the pan. That's going to heat up the smoker, and the moisture that the steam creates is what cooks the meat. You could use anything else. You could use fruit juices, pineapple juice, apple juice, orange juice. It's your choice. That just adds flavor to the meat as it's smoking. Also, what I use is I use wood chunks, and I soak those overnight to get them nice and wet. And I put them in a container, let them soak overnight. That creates the smoke in the smoking process as you're smoking meat. As the smoker heats up, I'll go inside and start preparing the meat for the smoker. If you look at what I'm doing right now, I have a pair of nitrile gloves on, and I use those just to, because the process is a little messy. You don't want your hands smelling like mustard and barbecue rub all day long. So what I do is I use the nitrile gloves, and as you see, I'm using mustard to put on the meat as a binding agent. So when you put the rub on the meat, the rub will stick to the meat. You could use olive oil, you could use canola oil, your choice, but I chose to use mustard because it serves as spices also. I apologize for putting the mustard in your view right there, but if you could see what I'm doing behind there is I'm getting the mustard around the whole meat right there, the whole pork shoulder, the sides, the ends, the top and the bottom is all covered in mustard. And then what I do next is I get the barbecue rub, and I sprinkle it all over the meat, and I pat it down so the rub will stick to the meat. There's not a limit to how much rub you could put on your pork shoulder. You could use the whole jar. It just depends on how much flavor you want in your meat after it comes out of the smoker. The same way goes with the mustard. You could use as much as you want. It just adds more and more flavor. After you're done seasoning the pork shoulder, it's time to put it in the smoker. You want to take it outside, make sure you're wearing gloves so you don't burn your hands because the smoker is going to be hot. Take your pork shoulder and put it in the center of the smoker. Make sure the vents are almost closed, just a little cracked open so you get the best smoking experience. Once the pork shoulder is in the oven, you'll want to put your wood chunks that you soaked overnight onto the tray and into the smoker to start the smoking experience. Okay, after smoking the pork shoulder for about 5 hours at 200 degrees Fahrenheit, your meat should be just about ready. You want to use a meat thermometer to check the internal temperature of the meat. It should read at least 165 degrees. If it's not that, you'll probably want to cook it a little longer just to be safe. If you look closely, I pull the meat thermometer out and I check 2 different parts of the meat to make sure that the thermometer was accurate. Once you pull the meat from the smoker, you'll want to take it inside and let it rest for 10 minutes before you serve it. Enjoy!